retiree conductor joining us tonight, and it's my great pleasure to introduce that individual, our first conductor. So our first piece will be conducted tonight by Mr. Brian Downey. Just starting with very basic, Mr. Downey has been a great friend and colleague during my entire time here at LVA, and is a great friend and colleague to many people here on campus. He is retiring from CCSD after a full career and 15 of those years spent at LVA, but we're very lucky that he's continuing here at LVA next year in a consulting role with Friends of LVA and a few other big offices on campus to continue lending his expertise. He preceded me here as Director of Bands from 2005 to 2020, and was kind enough to hire myself, Mr. Maccabee, and Mrs. Camullian. So in addition to his other talents, I think he has great taste in people, if I say so myself. He's responsible, among many, many things, he's responsible here at school for quite a few big things that we all benefit from. And this is, like, he led the band program for many years and just did a fantastic job, and where we are today is standing on those shoulders. But some even bigger picture things that he's responsible for. If any of you came to the orchestra concert this Tuesday, the genesis of the Philharmonic Orchestra, the top orchestra, was Mr. Downey and the orchestra teacher at the time, Mr. Reinhardt's, and they started that group as like a lunchtime only group and advocated for it and grew it to the point that it's an actual curricular class offering here that is just assumed. And then with that followed the second level orchestra class, the symphony orchestra, which many of our band students play in as well. So that alone is huge. He spearheaded the first concert at the Smith Center. I believe we're in year 6 or 7 of that. And he was there on the very first one, figuring out how to run that, again, advocating for the need for that, the importance for that for our students. V3 this fall played at Western International Band Clinic. Mr. Downey and I both went there in 2017, which was his second performance. He took the first band from LVA to that band clinic, again, paving the way for the future. He's responsible for the woodwind brass curriculum here, like the idea that our younger students every other day work in brass and woodwind and percussion sectionals, which is just incredible for our curriculum. That, again, was his brainchild and his advocacy and his vision. And then more immediately, kind of at present day, he works in the LVA Development Office, which just adds an incredible level of support here on campus. Epoch Percussion, which we played with at the Smith Center this fall, was underwritten substantially by support from his office and the series he created called the Master Artist Series. And so I think Ms. Camullian has a few more words, but after I hand off here, we'll welcome Mr. Downey and celebrate his impact here on the band program in the school and his coming retirement. So, Mrs. Camullian.
I didn't write a few things down, I kind of just ramble. So, like Mr. Seaton said, we're all kind of here because of Brian Downey. He's the one that kind of picked us all out and hired us. I was on a WIBC trip as just a mom back in 2006, I think it was. And he approached me about, I was just kind of on the trip with him and kids chaperoning, and he approached me about coming here to be the IA, and of course I was very excited to come over to LVA. So that was, you know, on his part, but that was great. Both my sons went through the program, and he had a huge influence on them as musicians, and as humans, so I'm forever grateful. And he's always always asked about the kids. He asked about my kids, he asked about alumni when they come, and kids really mattered. What they did and who they were really mattered to him, and that means a lot to me as a parent and in the department itself. We went on a ton of trips, organized trips. He made sure it was important. It was important for them to get out, get internationally, go travel. We went to Spain, went to Austria. The list is very long on trips that we've done. And he's really had a huge impact. Mr. Seaton relayed all the things that are in our department, in our school, because of him. When he moved up to the development office, we all said he's a big picture person, and so he was a big picture person in the band department. And when he moved up there, everybody got to experience what that was like. And so he's had a huge impact on me personally, on my kids, on all our kids. I know there's some alumni here that came because they knew he was conducting, and I wish him tons of fun as he moves into retiring, but still being here with his hands on. And I know his feel more at home, hopefully. And he's been a good friend, and I wish him the best.
Okay, so I didn't know they were going to say any of that, and it's really amazing and special. Thank you, Mr. Seaton, Mr. Maccabee, Karen, for having me out. Thank you, students, for letting me do this again. It's really one of those things where I started my music education journey 29 years ago, and you're asking yourself, was he 8? It seems like an eternity ago, and 25 of those years were spent making music, and that was really my first love in education, was doing what they get to do every day. So I am jealous of what you guys continue to do. I get a lot of spreadsheets and emails now, but it's all for the greater good, because I love LVA, I love the school, what it means to every program, and it's really a wonderful place. I was thinking back, just as I was sitting there watching the middle group, the first year this theater opened was my first year at LBA. And so that happened in 2005, and coming to this place, it's truly unique and special, and having this wonderful place to perform in, I've had a lot of amazing memories. One of my, this concert is great because all of you know where you were when COVID happened. Like, that's one of those things we're going to say for generations, what you're doing, what grade you're in, what was happening. I was standing in this theater on the first day of festival, and Mr. Seaton's band was performing. And at that time, that was the middle band, the Wood Symphony, and we got the word that festival was canceled. And so the Wind Ensemble never got to perform festival. I never got to see them. I got to see them the next day before they canceled all the classes. We never performed music again. And so that was really something that I always missed and regretted. And so having a chance to do this is really a lot of fun. So I hope you enjoy Shortcut Home. It's a piece that I actually got to conduct with the Philharmonic Orchestra on one of our trips to Midwest. And so it's just kind of a fun, light opening piece, and I hope you enjoy it.
Hopefully you're okay with all the talking, and I'd say sorry, but I'm really not, because there's just so many great people to honor tonight. So thanks for sticking with us, but also know that we're only honoring these people because they're incredibly deserving, and to not would be a crime. Our next honoree tonight, our next retiree tonight, is Mr. Maccabee, who you all know needs no introduction. Just to get a little background on our relationship and just how privileged we've been to have him here. It's kind of funny. In a way, we've actually always been somewhat intertwined. When I was student teaching, I think I was maybe 22 or so, the band had just gotten back from a trip to Chicago, and they were talking about, some bus ride or venue or itinerary, and they're like, oh yeah, we played Dave Maccabee's band. At the time, I thought nothing of it, but many years later, I remember that and thought, okay, that's actually kind of funny that way before I even was thinking about moving to Vegas, before I'd even started my master's, I'd actually already heard of David Maccabee, but again, at the time, didn't ever imagine that name would be significant in my life. And then, funnily enough, at Palo Verde, that was the school I was at for a year before I came to LBA, Mr. Maccabee, of course, followed me there. And at that point, we were living in the same city, and so we were friends, and our friendship began with me going over to his apartment, and we kind of hang out, but also it was under the guise of he needed tech support for all of his new things he was hooking up. However our friendship began, I'm glad that there was something to kind of get us started hanging out together and getting to know each other. Most importantly, as we had been friends then, and then he's hired at LBA, he was just someone I could really trust as we're going into the pandemic. Parents, I don't know if you thought this way during the pandemic, but as someone who looks at leading a program, I'm thinking, okay, the last thing I want to have happen is this all just atrophies and disappears. We need to throw everything we have at keeping this running, keeping this healthy, so we can come out of the pandemic strong. And it's a do or die moment. It's pass or fail. The medium is also fail because, again, the program's atrophying. The students are not getting what they need. So it just meant so much to me to have an incredible teacher teaching across town. We're not even sharing the same space, but to just be able to trust him, that he's got the students' best interests in mind, that they're getting fantastic information, and that over there on that Google Meet, they're getting better. That just to me, as a teacher, as someone who's working with him, just meant everything to me. He is one of the most kind, decent, and honorable people I've ever known. He just has an incredible conscience, and you can just bounce a variety of scenarios off of him, and you're going to get the most human-centric, just kind answer. Amazing collaborator. We just have this uncanny way of philosophically we are just really fully in alignment. We've certainly considered different things and kind of workshop stuff, but as far as the big picture ideas, we've just always really agreed on what we believe in as far as music education. You can see tonight in his conducting and his students, he loves teaching. Just brings an incredible joy to the classroom. He's had a 42-year career, and we're so lucky that he spent his last years here teaching with us, and we're very lucky that he'll continue next year in the capacity of parapro, helping out our grass students and just being extra years in rehearsal. So just wanted to say, Mr. Maccabee, just how much teaching with you and being your friend has meant, and how much we'll miss you next year. So thank you so much.
Read from this and keep me from crying. I've known Mr. Maccabee since we started. I knew him prior to him coming here just through a music festival that he had at Palo Verde. But him and I kind of muddled through the online Canvas and virtual and trying to set up our computers and so on. And so that seems like a lot longer than 4 years ago. I feel like I've known him for 20 years now. So just was 4 years ago when he came here. And I guess that's what happens when you work with someone you like so much that it just seems like it's been longer. We start every day together. He gets here usually before me, I get in, and it's a great way to start my day. We just catch up on whatever before the 7 o'clock bell starts, and so I will miss you next year. I will miss just chatting. I know you're coming into Parapro, but it's not the same. So we always start our day together, which is really nice. Students have learned so much, as have John and I, or Mr. Seaton. Your band experiences and your life experiences have enriched the band department and each of us. The Midwest Clinic is a testament to that. I was able to see firsthand what he brought to the table, and I know Mr. Seaton mentioned a lot, but I got to see the two of them work together. I know many of you have heard about the Midwest Clinic, but it's massive. It's a big thing to audition for, the work you need to do, getting prepared, having a performance at that level. But I was able to see firsthand what he brought to Mr. Seaton and vice versa. And the two of them together, it wouldn't have happened if their two brains and their energy weren't like in sync. And so when I think of Midwest, I always think of both of you because it wouldn't have happened without what you brought to the table. Your friendship means the world to me, and I hope you know that you'll always be our go-to person when we're leaving dinner reservations. So I hope you enjoy your next chapter. I know you'll be here in a different capacity next year, so I won't really say bye, but I will definitely miss our day. So.
Don't worry, this is really short. I want you to hear this next piece of music. Thank you so much. I don't even know how to express the gratitude I feel in my heart for having been able to conclude my 42-year teaching career here. My teaching career began in 1982 in a little town in southern Illinois called Nokomis. I had 29 kids in my high school band. The whole brass was one trombone player and a euphonium player. School of 250, an old coal mining town. And somebody told me that this ended up at LVA 42 years later. I said, you're crazy. To say that I love being here is an understatement of my life. This has been the perfect job at the perfect time in my life, working with the best people I could ever hope for. It's simply time for me to turn the page and begin a new chapter in my life. There's so too many people to thank. I got to thank Brian, Johnny, I'm not here. He didn't ask me to go to coffee 5 years ago at Midwest and tell me about this opportunity. Karen and John, you've been perfect for me. I love you dearly. I believe I could only have taught these past 4 years with those two people. Anybody else, I don't think I could have done it. They were perfect for me. It's been, and to my beloved students, ones here, and the ones on stage, and the ones that have passed my way previously. It's been an honor, absolute honor, privilege to be your teacher. You've inspired me every day to not only be the best teacher I could be, but to be the best person I could be. You've been such a blessing to me. Not only are you incredible musicians, but you're even better people. My heart is full. Thank you so very, very much, everybody. If I was going to thank everybody that touched my life and everything, it wouldn't be here until tomorrow morning. But I love you all. Thank you so much, and let's, I'm going to put penance.
All right, again, some more thanks for just all the people that contribute to this program. These students, and they deserve it, but these students have an incredible number of supporters who make what they do possible and keep things running behind the scenes. And these remarks will preclude our last piece, which you will definitely want to stay for. If we could hold applause till the end, but I'll announce our band boosters. Our band boosters just have been fantastic this year. I don't know if that word is strong enough praise, but they have. They, beyond just the basic things like running band camp and just supporting the students at various events throughout the year, which isn't even that basic, that takes a lot of work. This year they also took on, they did an incredible job supporting us with the College Band Directors National Association event we hosted about a month ago. Just a ton of them volunteering, coordinating, moving, feeding, which we could not have done that without them. They also, was it last weekend, revived the LVA Band Boosters wine tasting fundraiser, which was over at CPK across the street. And that hasn't happened since before the pandemic, and they brought that back just full force. I could go on and on about all the things they do for our students, and we're so thankful for them volunteering their time. And trust me, these people are not volunteering because they're just looking for something to do. They're incredibly busy, and they still find time to volunteer on top of that and on top of being a parent. So again, hold applause please till the end, but if you could come join us on stage. Our president, Shanna Valenti, our vice president, Jen Becker, our treasurer, Kristen Tom, our secretary, Donna Califf, our volunteer coordinator, Amy Tassin, our social media coordinator, Rosemary Nagy, board liaison, Valerie Morales, also assisting the board this year with a grant, with some grant writing and other miscellaneous projects, Cindy Ripp, again assisting the board with fundraising and other miscellaneous projects, Stephanie Thompson. If you could come join us on stage, we would just like to honor you. Thank you so much.
I'd like to thank the band boosters and all the parent volunteers that helped make everything possible this year. I'd also like to thank Mr. Seaton, Mr. Maccabee, Ms. Camulia for helping my children and 2 kids that went through the program, helping them enrich their music career or careers, and to help them, to help educate them. So thank you very much. It's been a great experience. Thank you.
Thank you again to the boosters, and to echo what Shanna said, thank you so much to all parent volunteers. There's quite a few of you who are not officially on the board, but I see it every event, or I've seen it at multiple events, so we really appreciate everything you do to help us. Some other individuals in the audience to thank. Your students weekly get to work with paraprofessionals. These are expert performers on their instruments who not only just teach them how to play their instruments better, but really build a culture of just love and support within each section. If we could have any paraprofessionals in attendance tonight, please stand and recognize their amazing contributions. Next up, we have our incredible theater managers who run our concerts throughout the year. That is Maria Beeman, Josh O'Brien, and Natasha White, who's with us tonight. If we give a big round of applause for them. A big thank you to principal, who we're not letting go anywhere. She's staying here forever. Our new principal, Ms. Leslie Kep, and the rest of the LVA administration team. They are just incredible supporters of the students. They honestly celebrate the students' success, not just in a check-the-box way, but they really are rooting for the students every day, and are just so supportive of what we're doing and do everything they can to make our lives easier instead of harder, which is rare these days in education. So if we could thank them, please, for all their support throughout the year. A big thank you, as always, to Mrs. Camulia. I left her card off stage, but she already knows what she got. But most importantly, she, as you know, because parents and students, you have a lot of contact with her, is just an incredible just force within the band program of organizing, task completion, a kind word, good advice, just really anything you need and much, much more. She keeps Mr. Maccabee and I running and allows us to focus on teaching music to students instead of collecting money and balancing spreadsheets, and we're so appreciative of her to that and for what that gives our students. So thank you so much, Mrs. Camulia. And then we're reaching the end here. Again, thanks for your great patience tonight as we honor these deserving people. Parents, especially senior parents, you had your kids start high school during a global pandemic, and their first class was on Google Meet. And for some reason, through all that, you supported them coming to this school where it's all about music making, and in that first year, all of your music was being made, as I'm sure you heard, at home. And so, especially senior parents, I just want to thank you for your faith and your support, and for helping get these students to this point. That could not have been an easy start for you. Starting high school, I think, for any student or family is a lot of change, and so doing that as you did online, I just cannot commend you enough. And then most importantly, our seniors. If you want to stand, please, seniors in this group. Remain standing. Them and the other seniors and other bands, 45 of them in total, again, started high school. Their first class of high school was on Google Meet. I can't imagine the thoughts running through your head at that time. Get me out of here, this can't be real, thoughts like that. I distinctly remember a lot of them, and Ms. Cole and I laugh about this often. My first memories of them were like the forehead up for a lot of them, because the camera alignment. There was many a class in those early days, especially because they're freshmen, where you say, "Good morning, it's so great to see everyone," and then nothing. But that's okay, because they stuck with it, and I just am so impressed with their resilience. Honestly, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, if I was one of them at that point, I definitely would have quit. I would have thrown in the towel and said, I need to do something else, this isn't going to cut it. I seriously am impressed with their ability to stick it out on Google Meet, and not only just get out of that, but then come back to school and thrive and become leaders in the program and exceed previous expectations, not just kind of approximate them. They didn't use that as a crutch. They didn't say, "Oh, we started on Google Meet." They really just committed themselves to being excellent at every turn. And just if we could recognize them one more time for their accomplishments. That concludes our thank you portion of the evening. Again, we appreciate your patience as we honor these very deserving areas of our program. To preface our final piece tonight, Come Sunday. This work is a two-movement tribute to the Hammond organ's central role in Black worship services, and the Hammond organ is just a specific brand of organ. The first movement you'll hear tonight, Testimony, follows the Hammond organ as it readies the congregation's hearts, minds, and spirits to worship via musical union of Bach, blues, jazz, and R&B. You'll hear two tenor soloists, Chris Montanez and Andrew Stroud. Please feel free, see you're already ready. Please feel free to clap for each of them. And just in general, please feel free to clap and respond appropriately. This piece is designed to be celebratory, so again, appropriately being the underscore there. But if there's something that you think, man, that was really cool, feel free to applaud. It's that kind of a piece. You don't have to necessarily wait till the end. And then the second movement, shout, you'll know when it begins. It begins with a shout. It's a virtuosic celebration, the frenzied and joyous climactic moments when the Spirit has taken over the service. The title, Come Sunday, is a direct nod to Duke Ellington. It's one of his famous song titles. And he held an inspired love for classical music and allowed it to influence his own work in a multitude of ways. We know you will enjoy, and we're so glad to share with you in the seniors' last performance, Omar Thomas's Come Sunday. Thank you.